Hey guys and gals, this is Movie Mammoth here, doing another State of the Houses for Game of Thrones. This week's episode is going to focus on the Lannisters. The Lannisters have been falling by the wayside pretty quickly in recent seasons, so let's see how their season went this year. Cersei Lannister, one of the contenders for winning the entire season, and I never would have thought I'd be saying that after episode 9, but after the Winds of Winter, and after her evil plan finally came to fruition and just blew up the Septa Baylor and all of the corridors underground, and Lancel and Kevin and Marjorie and Mace and the High Sparrow and all the Sparrow's militia, I mean, you gotta give the lady props. Unintentionally, Tommen ended up dropping out that window and breaking her heart, but it got her on that Iron Throne, and she has now accomplished the goal she set forth since she was a child. The prophecy has finally come to pass, freeing her from that fear she had for all of her children, and now she is free to do what she will with the throne. As I mentioned before, Tommen's suicide was completely jarring at the end of this season. He spent most of the season being what he had been for the whole show. The shy, nice, innocent little boy who was not at all Joffrey, but who was so easily manipulated that he ended up putting the crown in a very precarious position and giving way to this entire religious freedom, all of this twin pillar nonsense that his mother was not wanting him to hear about. And he ended up being so manipulated and weak and just being this poor kid who should never have been in this position, that he finally did make the decisive decision to walk out and just let go of everything and walk out that window. It broke Cersei's heart. She had kind of resigned herself to the fact earlier in the season. You know, if she was mad when she did the walk of shame, that now she's probably just going to take it out on everyone in the city, even more than she already has. She had some great outfits this season. She was just sitting back. Jaime was going nuts most of the season, saying he wants to cut everyone's heads off, march into the Sept. She'd just sit back and sip her wine and be like, "Hold on, Jaime, I've got something in the works. Just be calm. We can do this in a more clean fashion." And I wasn't buying it at first, and now I completely buy it. Her entire performance over the season was completely justified. The fact that Lena Headey hasn't won an Emmy for the show yet is a travesty. I really hope she gets it this season. But anyways, Cersei had a rather good and a rather sad season this season. She got the throne, but she had it at the cost of her last child. That's real sad. And now the only Lannisters left are her and her brother and her other brother. She killed off Kevin too. Kevin, who was boxing out Cersei, which may have been his doom, who loved his son too much and ended up losing his life in the fire. That sucks. He was a great military commander. He was one of the last older generation of Lannisters. Just like Tywin, he felt that things had to be done in a certain way. And I don't think he ever expected Cersei to do what she did, especially to him and his son. He underestimated her just as the High Sparrow did. And that's been many people's doom over the course of the seasons. The next Lannister up is Jaime. Jaime had one of his best seasons in years. Better than anything he did in Dorne. He had some great moments with Bronn. He got to prove his actual worth when he took River Run without even killing anybody. He had some great scenes, like the scene with Edmure when he promised to throw his baby over in a catapult, that he would kill everyone for Cersei, and then he gets back to King's Landing to just mayhem and fire and see Cersei on the throne and his last son dead, and her enacting the act that made him into the Kingslayer to save the city. And it turns out his sister has become this mad queen that he ended up killing last time. I'm really hoping this is leading to a change of heart for Jaime. He did not look happy with her when he was in the throne room at the end of the season, and I'm hoping that maybe he can become a better man. A lot of the season was about him struggling with his honor. He had that talk with Walder Frey where they were like, "Oh," Walder's like, "I'm the same as you. We're both just two Kingslayers." And he was just holding back rage, just quivering in anger, because he wants to be that honorable man. Reuniting with Brienne taught him that he did have some of that honor left, and he can be a good man. And I'm hoping that he realizes this, and that Cersei is the monster that he has been manipulated by for so many years. And if he gets out from under her wing, there's a really good chance Jaime can be someone even more awesome. I love his character's journey so far, and I'm really interested to see where he's going from here, because throughout the whole series, the one constant he has had is his love for Cersei. And I'm interested to see how losing that might change his perspective on things, especially with enemies in the north and enemies in the south, and him basically controlling the Lannister army. His choice is going to be a big one in the wars to come. I'm also going to include Tyrion on this list, as he is still a Lannister, despite the fact he isn't exactly united with his brother and sister at this point. He spent an interesting season in Meereen. With Dany gone, he spent most of it trying to bring the city back to liveliness, which he did accomplish. He made a few errors. Enlisting the Red Women might actually end up hurting them in the long run. The slave trade agreement definitely ended up hurting them. Good thing Dany got back, and they both settled it together. He tried to bring comedy to Meereen. Now that is something that I don't think anyone could have done. And he did. He made Grey Worm laugh. He made Missandei actually kind of interesting for a scene. I mean, not many other people can do that. I love seeing how his kind of character melded with those of Meereen, because it didn't fit at all, and he kind of made his own space, carved out his own little area. But most interestingly with Tyrion is that he's finally united with Daenerys. These last 2 episodes have been fantastic to see them working in tandem. He cools off her madness, and she brings the fire when she needs to. And it's just amazing to see. They're one of the best tag teams. And now that he's Hand of the Queen, those two together are not to be trifled with. I mean, good gracious. Tyrion's in a great position, and he's alive. And that's pretty hard to do. Not to mention, he's had some of the best things he's ever worn in any season in this season. He looks fantastic. The shaggy hair, the beard, the scar, along with the outfits he's been wearing, have really made him just look distinguished and smart, but a little bit dark. It's fantastic. This is the best Tyrion look we've ever had. Much better than that pudgy blonde guy in the first season, and even better than some of his other looks in recent times. Now, that's not everything, but he's also had a pretty good season. I love the moment when he told the slaver to go back and tell people what happened when Daenerys came to the slaver's bait with her dragons. And he's going to be making that speech a lot more as they go up through the south part of Westeros. So good job, Tyrion, and good on you. So that's pretty much the Lannisters right there in a bottle. There aren't that many of them left, with Tommen and Kevin biting the dust this season, not to mention Lancel. Oh my, I almost forgot Lancel. Lancel's been one of the most interesting character arcs in the entire show. He started off as just this little buffoon who was Cersei's fuck buddy. He ended up helping her kill Robert, although not super directly. And then he had this change of heart halfway through the show. He became a religious zealot, confessing his crimes, and really becoming a foil to some of Cersei's evil actions, and stepping up to her. The moment when his friend got his head ripped off by the mountain, he was, before that, being rather assertive with Cersei and telling her, this is what you have to do, I'm in charge now. And that's a dynamic I don't think I would have ever seen starting out the show. I was rooting for him to not make it to the candle, which is hard to say and weird to say, and one of the weird things that Game of Thrones makes you think about. But thinking back on it, Lancel was one of the better Lannisters. He was certainly better than Tommen. He was certainly more integral and had a bigger arc than Kevin. And it was just interesting to see him go from this dotting little boy to this hardened religious friend. But with him also biting the dust, the only prominent Lannisters left are Cersei, Jaime, and Tyrion. And I'm not even sure any of them are on the same side. Sure, Cersei's on the throne. She got it basically just through her own power and through Qyburn and the mountain. But I don't know if Jaime's going to really be united with her from now on. He might have this change of heart. And Tyrion's definitely not. Cersei wants his head too. And he's with Daenerys. So the Lannister house has really fractured and caved in on itself. I mean, Cersei killed Kevin and Lancel and indirectly caused the death of Tommen. So Cersei has also managed to pretty much fracture her entire house. Because now if Jaime's against her, and she made Tyrion go against her, Cersei may be the downfall of the Lannisters. So for right now, Cersei and the state of the Lannisters is a good one. They're on the throne finally. Jaime still has an army. He's proved he can do it. But she doesn't have that good of a way out. I don't know what she's going to do. Daenerys can basically walk up to King's Landing, and she's super overpowered right now. Cersei doesn't have any kind of form of government. The people don't love her. She's pretty much at a wildfire, probably, except there might be some underneath the Red Keep and some other places, but that's just in your own city, and Jaime's against her. So from now on, the Lannisters may be going down. But for right now, the state of House Lannister is a good one, considering that half of them died this season. But Cersei is definitely a candidate to win the season, and she was just maniacally evil and did the complete evil turn. I loved her moment of talking to the Septa when she had her trapped underground, and she was like, I'm ready to die. And she's like, now? Today? You're not going to die today. Absolutely fantastic. Cersei is one of the best characters on the show. I'm super interested to see where her storyline's going to end. She's lost all of her children at this point at the cost of her one true goal. It'll be interesting to see what she does to stay on that Iron Throne from here on out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. This has been my State of the Lannisters video. I put out another video, the State of the Starks, most recently. You can also check out my Game of Thrones power rankings for the Winds of Winter Season 6 finale. Or if you want to, you can check out my review for Independence Day Resurgence. Here's a hint. It's garbage. I didn't even go that hard on it in the review, but you guys already know what it is. I'll have another video coming out soon regarding the Targaryens and all the alliances that Daenerys has created and the remaining houses of Westeros. But at this point, these final seasons looks like it's getting back to the real shit we have started out with in the first couple seasons. House Stark versus House Lannister versus House Targaryen. The Tyrells are pretty much wiped off the board, and plenty of other houses have gone by the wayside. And now it's just going to be these huge, monumental houses duking it out for the Iron Throne, while little somebody heads down from the south to see what's up. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you like this video. It helps out my videos in some kind of way. I don't know. There's probably an algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see more Game of Thrones, more movie reviews, and more other stuff that will be coming soon. You guys can check out my Twitter. There's a link in the description below. Check out my Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr as well. And have a good day. Come back later for more Game of Thrones videos. Alright, Movie Mammoth signing off.